Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. All right, I don't have my microphones on. I do have some. I need to get them charged up so that I can use them. I apologize if the audio is a little bit too low. But I'm going to go ahead and dig these 10 or 11 potato plants. I'm going to leave the one big one. It's starting to die back, but it's not quite ready to dig. So I'm going to go ahead and dig these. And let's see what kind of results we get out of these plants. I'm throwing them out there in the yard, by the way. I'm not even seeing any on these. I hope that's not a sign. It might have been. Whoop, there's one. Good sized one too. Oh, there's another. Woo, that's a big one too. Maybe one of my biggest. All right, guys, I'm digging down deep, making sure I'm getting down to the compost that I started with, the homemade compost. But all I got is two good sized ones, one large one and one medium. Honestly, I may have missed those from the other plants that I pulled, so I can't even say that one produced anything. Let's go here. Pull a few weeds. Oh, I know it's got some potatoes. One just popped up. Oh, that one's got a couple attached to it. All right. Oh, there's a small one. There's a medium. There's a couple little bitty ones. That one's too small. The one's about a dime, nickel, probably a nickel. Oh, I see some more right here near me. They're still small. Oh, there's another one. We're getting a little bigger. I went deep, y'all. Really deep. I didn't get but those few. All right, let's smooth this out. Ooh. Nice root ball. I see potatoes already. Oh, that root ball was deep. These are good sized potatoes that are coming out of here. Ooh, I scratched that one with my fingers. Oh, there's another big one. All right, that looks like that's it. Go away, bug. I should have sprayed down before I came out here. The ground's fairly dry. It's a little bit down deep. The first 4 to 5 inches is pretty dry. I was going to water today. Well, I see taters. I'm probably going to need another basket. Yep, scratched another big one. All right. They should be a few more down in there. I was just doing the top 6 inches before I started digging deeper. Let's see if there's any in there. Well, I guess that's it. Let's go to the last 2 plants. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, there's a little one in there somewhere. There we go. I apologize for the audio, guys. I got to get those microphones and get them charged up. I'm talking as loud as I can talk. Without the neighbors hearing me, and they probably hear me anyway. My math was off on the last video, guys. I said I had 9 pounds. It was really about 8 pounds. Well, I think I dug around pretty good. Oh, there's a little bitty one I missed. All right. Well, I'm going to say that's probably 5 to 6 pounds. I'll get in the house and wash them off and then weigh them up and show y'all that. Do I need to go ahead and dig that last plant is the question. I don't think it's quite ready. It's just now starting to really wilt around the edges. I think it needs a few more days. My basket's full, so I'll call it quits and we'll dig that one another day. Probably when I start doing these white potatoes. There's quite a few of them there. All right, let me come around there and pause it. All right, guys, so I just finished washing the potatoes. I had already picked, oh, I'm sorry, let me get a better grip of the tripod. I had already picked the squash and zucchini, and there was a few that could have been picked, but they also could have been a little bit bigger, so I left them. I got about 3 gallons worth of squash and zucchini in the fridge now, and today's on the counter drying from where I washed it, so I didn't pick it today. But the potatoes, so I had 8 pounds last time and 4 pounds today, and I've got the one biggest plant left to go. That's 12 pounds. I'm hoping that really big plant will produce at least a couple of pounds, but 12 pounds of Norland red potatoes. First time ever growing potatoes. So that really, to me, is not bad. I only planted about a half a pound, maybe less, of seed potatoes for the red potatoes. So, because my daughter and I bought some, but we split it in half. So, not too bad, I honestly think. So, if I get my soil a little bit better as time goes on, and, you know, all of that, it should help me grow better crops. So, let me flip this around and show y'all the bed. Okay. So that's the raised bed that had all the red potatoes in it. It's all been pulled, and except for that big plant in the corner. And I'm going to wait a few more days on it. Today is day number 89. So I planted them on February the 14th. And today is May the 13th. So tomorrow will be 90 days. And according to the bag of seed potatoes, it's supposed to take 90 days to harvest. So we're right there in the ballpark, but I'm going to give this one a few more days. Probably until I'm about ready. Well, I don't know. These have a little ways to go before they're ready to pick. That's the white potatoes. So I'm going to try to wait and pick this one later. I may pick another carrot or two this weekend just to test, pull a few out from the middle to test and see what size they are. But, you know, it's thick in here. But you're supposed to go by the base of the stalk. And there it is, if y'all can see. Let me see. Can y'all see? Nope. That limb keeps getting in the way. That's not that big down there to me. That one looks like it's probably ready, but there's a lot of them that are still small, which is supposed to mean that the carrot is still small. So I'm probably going to wait a little bit on that. So let me come over here. I'm going to flip this around and try it from... All right, let's see what y'all can see here. Y'all see all those squash down in there? There's a lot of little baby squash. Oh, that ain't working. Let me flip this around. There's a lot of little baby squash down in this plant right here, hanging off the bed. And there's a lot in all of the rest of them, as you see. There's a bunch hanging off of that plant. So the squash are still producing really well. And what I've had happen in the past, sorry, I'm still getting used. What I've had happen in the past with my squash and zucchini is once the heat of the summer hits, and we're not there yet, but the bugs have already started attacking the squash. They'll bore into the end of it where the flower is and start eating it from the inside out. But I've had probably half a dozen or more of those happen. But basically, as the summer goes on, the pest pressure gets harder and harder and heavier, and I end up just not being able to harvest the squash and zucchini because the insects are getting it before I am. So with all these still growing, I still feel like I've got several weeks worth of harvest before I'll have to pull these plants and, start again. So I'm going to take this top off and show y'all because I haven't done it today. I did take it off today. When I got home, that's one of the first things I do is check this. So let me flip it around. All right, look at that one tomato plant right there. It's got one little tiny leaf about to pop off on it. None of the other plants have even started popping up yet. So hopefully that will happen in the next few days. It's been, I think tomorrow is a week. Pretty sure it is a week since I planted. So this bed we're just waiting, the one with the trellis on it. Let me turn around this way. We're just waiting on those plants in the starter tray to come up and get big enough where I can transplant them into this raised bed. So I'll keep it, pretty, and any weeds that might pop up, which so far have been almost none because this was store-bought. So I don't know what they do to it to make the weeds not come up, but anyway, it's been pretty good so far. Now these zucchini plants right here, the one in that corner that's been producing the most, it is humongous. It is just, I've counted, I think there's 7 more zucchini growing on it right now, plus these other plants. And I'd really like to trim that plant back a little bit and make it a little easier for me to look down in there and walk past and all of that. Oop, sorry, you wasn't seeing me. Let me tilt the camera a little more. All right, and then I can hold it out a little bit further. So see if that's any better. Let me know. But tell me if you guys like the tripod or me holding it with my hand. I don't know. This way I get to see myself and y'all get to see me, and it gives you something to focus on besides the background. See how I'm turning around? It doesn't make it as dizzy when you're watching it, at least for me. At least for me. When I'm watching other people's videos, if everything in the screen is moving, it's hard to watch. So I'm trying to make the videos a little bit better, make it easier for people to watch, and then hopefully enjoy my content. My dog's barking at somebody just drove by. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here. I had a completely different video planned for this Friday. I mentioned it in a video or two back, a few videos ago at least, about me getting my soft start installed by one of my friends that's an electrician on my well, so I could run the well on my off-grid power. Well, my plan was to come home today and open the panel up outside and inside, which I've got it open, and see what I needed to do to hook it up properly from my off-grid power. Well, I've only got a number 12 wire in there. So those of you that know or don't know, 12 gauge wire is rated for up to 20 amps. 10 gauge wire is rated for 30. Well, most wells down here, residential wells, people run 10 gauge wire to the well, depending on how far away it is. You can run it on 12. It'll handle the amperage usually. But he told me my well is on startup, you know, which is where it draws the most power. It's pulling about 19 amps max. So I could use that 12 wire that I've got in there and it'd be fine. But I would rather, since I work at a electrical wholesale place and I get stuff just slightly above cost, I'm gonna buy me a little bit of wire tomorrow and bring it home and use that for the well. I've also got another idea in mind. I've got a 125 amp sub panel that I don't use in my old shop here. I'm gonna flip around. In my old shop up on the shelf in there. I've had it for a long time. It's an outdoor panel box. It's a small panel box, but I'm gonna go in there and look at it and see if it's one that I can use. And where my panel box is right here, I may come out of it and feed a sub panel from my main panel right there where my meter base is. So I can run from that sub panel to the inside and clean it up a little bit. Less wires, more room for me to work with them and all of that. And I'm thinking of doing that. That's going to be another expense, but if that panel is good and will work, that's probably what I'm going to do. I really don't want to buy another panel. Guys, I've got that panel, of course, the indoor panel for the house. I've got a panel in that building. I've got a panel in that building. And I've got a panel in the classroom out on the range. I've got everything breakered and paneled the way it should be, but my wire's a little bit messy in there and I want to clean it up. So I'm gonna flip y'all around here. If I add a sub panel, come out of that panel and run to the right there, move them old, my son left those, what do you call them, running bars for a truck up here years and years ago. I need to dispose of them, but I may throw them on truck and take them to the scrap pile at work. But anyway, if I come out of that panel and put me another sub panel there, I could run the range and my old shop and the mini barn and the well and chicken pens and all of that out of it. Also, not thinking that it really mattered back when I did HVAC, I could buy white PVC pipe cheap, and I bought 400 feet of it and ran it all the way out to the classroom on the range. Well, my electrician friend says he don't like to see white PVC pipe for electrical because people will go to cut into it thinking it's water and there's live wires in there. It's dangerous. So I'm actually thinking of, when I add the other panel right here, of taking the white pipe out and replacing it with the gray pipe and just do it a little long as I can afford, get a few sticks every now and then and replace it all the way out to the range. Now that pipe that I'm using, there's nothing wrong with it. I just have to disconnect the wire and pull the pipe off of the wire. So it could be reused for something else. And I do have plans for more water lines. So let me talk about that for a second. We're at the 13-minute mark on here, and that's not including the first part of the video. So y'all know this is going to be the greenhouse. I don't like having to drag this water hose out and water over here every time I need water. I also don't like having to run an extension cord out here if I decided to put lights and stuff in it, which I may for wintertime and all that. So when I ran the water line over here to the mini barn, I left about a foot sticking out in the ground facing this direction so I could dig it up right there and add to it and run it straight over into my greenhouse. I'll probably run it, let me show y'all what I'm talking about. I'll probably run the water line right over here so I can go between these raised beds and put a faucet on that side of the greenhouse inside the greenhouse, and then put a faucet on the outside of the greenhouse, and put a faucet over here on the inside of the greenhouse. So I won't have to drag a hose all over the greenhouse. I'll have a faucet on both sides that I could do that with. And I'll have a faucet on that side of the greenhouse so I can water my mulberry trees, and I plan on planting more fruit trees out there in the field. So I'd have a much closer water source for that as well. And I ran 3/4 inch PVC, which if I wanted high volume, I'd probably need to run 1 or 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, something like that. But 3/4 here is plenty. I've got good pressure out of this hose right here. And that's the same line that runs through my chicken pens for their automatic waterer. So I could reuse most of that white PVC pipe that runs all the way out to the classroom on the range, and just start buying the gray pipe, which I should have done, and put a panel in up there and replace it. So I'm gonna zoom in a second and show y'all something. I want to see if y'all can see. There's a bird nest on top of my meter base, right there by the galvanized pipe where the power comes in, on the right side. That left side, that white box right there, is the box from that, oh, it just flew off, is the box from that soft start that we put in for the well. But there's a bird nest on the right side of that galvanized pipe right there. And every time I get close to the paddle box, the bird flies off. That tells me it's probably got either eggs or babies in there. So I'm gonna flip y'all around and hold my camera up to look down in that nest and see if it's eggs or babies. If there's no eggs or babies, I'm gonna pull the nest down because I don't want her there. So let's see. Let's see what's in that bird nest. Oh. Well, that answered that question, didn't it? There's 4 eggs in that nest. Basically, when I took down all those solar floodlights that I had around the house, I took away a lot of places that they used to build nests on top of them. And it didn't interfere with my cameras or my floodlights, but they build nests on anything that's up against a flat wall. And she's got a nest up there, so with eggs in it. So I'm gonna leave her alone, but I still need to get that panel done. So I hope she doesn't abandon the nest. So far, when I was over there messing with it, she would still fly up, and she, you know, I could hear her wings flapping behind me. She'd come around the corner and see me and turn around and go back and wait. So I know she's sitting close by watching me. But anyway, I was hoping it was a blue jay or a red bird, but it just looks like a brown thrasher or something like that. I don't know all the birds, but that's what it looks like. So guys, I'm gonna get off here with the rest of the beginning of the video, digging the potatoes and all, and let me prop this on my leg, and showing y'all, talking to you about what all I've been doing. This is probably gonna be a doggone 25-minute video, and that's plenty long enough. So let me show y'all one more thing if I hadn't already showed you. Let me flip you around again. All right, there we go. Oh, I'm still zoomed in. I gotta zoom out. All right, 2 6-foot by 100-foot rolls of weed fabric or landscape fabric, and then I ordered 180-foot by 4-foot, so that one's folded in half and it's 180-foot long. So I've got a lot of weed mat that I can cover up some of this where the seams are and where weeds are coming through, and I can add to it all the way around like I want to for the raised beds that I plan on adding. So thank you for those gifts, and like I say, I bought one and the others were gifts, so I appreciate that. But I'm going to get off here. And, man, looks good from here, guys, on camera. But anyway, it is time for me to go get a few other chores done. And we'll try this thing again in a day or 2 or 3 or whatever when I get the wire and decide what I'm going to do, whether put in a sub panel or not. So thank y'all for watching. Remember what I've always told you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.